If this message speaks to your soul, do not let it fall to the ground. Share it with one who walks in confusion. Let this word travel, like seeds scattered upon fertile soil. Subscribe, that your spirit may be nourished each week by truth. As it is written, "He who has ears, let him hear." Matthew 13 verse 9. What if every story Jesus told was more than a lesson? It was an invitation. What if the parables were not just tales but windows? Not just teachings but keys to the kingdom? In a world that loves facts and formulas, Jesus told stories. While the scholars debated and the skeptics demanded signs, Jesus sat on boats, stood on hillsides and told stories of farmers, seeds, coins, sheep, servants, vineyards. But these stories were more than metaphors. They were mysteries revealed, parables that peeled back the curtain between heaven and earth. In this message, we'll dive deep into the parables of Jesus, not merely to understand them, but to let them read us, change us, and awaken us to a kingdom that is upside down and inside out. Why did Jesus speak in parables? This is not a guess, Jesus told us. The knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand. Matthew 13 verses 11 and 13. Parables were not meant to confuse the humble. They were meant to confound the proud. Jesus wasn't hiding truth. He was revealing it to those hungry enough to seek it. In a world obsessed with information, Jesus spoke in revelation. He knew something we forget. Hearts are not transformed by argument, but by imagination, by encounter. A culture in need of story. In today's noisy world, everyone has a microphone, but few have wisdom. We scroll endlessly. We skim headlines. We quote verses out of context. But stories stick. Stories awaken. Stories build bridges over walls. That's why even now, over 2,000 years later, Jesus' parables still echo. They still pierce the heart, still humble the proud, still call the wanderer home. Let's walk through some of his most powerful parables, not with cold analysis, but with open hands and listening hearts. 1. The parable of the sower, Matthew 13 verses 1 to 23. Jesus tells of a farmer who sows seed. Some falls on the path, snatched away. Some on rocky soil, grows quickly but withers. Some among thorns, choked. Some on good soil, produces 30, 60, 100-fold. This isn't about agriculture. It's about your heart. The seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. Matthew 13 verse 23. Ask yourself, what kind of soil is my soul? Distracted? Shallow? Hardened? Or hungry? Jesus isn't just sowing words, he's sowing life. And he's asking, will you receive it? 2. The parable of the lost sheep, Luke 15 verses 1 to 7. A shepherd leaves 99 sheep to find the one that wandered. Not logical, not efficient, but deeply personal. I tell you, there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent. Luke 15 verse 7. This is the heartbeat of the gospel. Jesus isn't afraid of the mess. He comes after you. He pursues until he finds, lifts, restores. You are not too far gone. You are worth the search. 3. The parable of the Good Samaritan, Luke 10 verses 25 to 37. A man is robbed, beaten, left for dead. A priest and a Levite pass by. A Samaritan, an outsider, stops, binds wounds, pays costs. Jesus asks, which of these was a neighbor? The answer isn't in religion, it's in compassion. Go and do likewise. Luke 10 verse 37. Loving God means loving those we're tempted to walk past. Justice is more than opinion, it's action. 4. The parable of the prodigal son, Luke 15 verses 11 to 32. A younger son demands his inheritance, squanders it in wild living, and hits rock bottom. He returns, rehearsing his apology. But the father runs to meet him, clothes him, restores him. This son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. Luke 15 verse 24. Meanwhile, the older brother sulks in bitterness, angry that grace has no limits. This parable isn't just about one son. It's about two, the rebellious and the religious. And it's about a father who is better than we thought. 5. The parable of the mustard seed. Matthew 13 verses 31 to 32. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, tiny, but grows into a great tree. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants. Matthew 13 verse 32. This is how God works. Quiet, unexpected, often unseen. But the seed becomes shelter, strength, shade. Don't despise small beginnings. What God plants, He grows. How do we apply the parables in daily life? Parables are not bedtime stories. They're battle cries, invitations, and warnings. Here's how to live them out. Step 1. Listen with a heart to understand. Jesus often ended with, "He who has ears, let him hear." The question isn't, "Did you hear it?" It's, "Did it move you?" Pray, "God, don't just teach me. Transform me. Let your word take root." Step 2. Look for the kingdom in the ordinary. Parables reveal a kingdom hidden in everyday moments. Seeds, lamps, coins, bread, banquets. The sacred is not separate from the simple. God is speaking in your commute, kitchen, conflict, and quiet time. Ask, "What are you trying to show me today, Lord?" Step 3. Live the story boldly. The world is full of noise. What if you became a living parable? What if your forgiveness told the story of the Father? What if your generosity mirrored the Good Samaritan? What if your courage showed what mustard seed faith can do? You are not a passive listener. You are a living letter written by Christ. You yourselves are our letter, written on our hearts, known and read by everyone. 2 Corinthians 3 verse 2. A real-life parable. Corrie ten Boom. During World War II, Corrie and her family hid Jews from the Nazis. They were arrested, sent to concentration camps, tortured. After the war, Corrie met one of her former guards and forgave him. She once said, "There is no pit so deep that God's love is not deeper still." Her life became a parable of grace, read by millions. She didn't just preach forgiveness. She lived it. And now, let the parables speak to you. Maybe you're the prodigal, wondering if the Father will still welcome you. He will. Run home. Maybe you're the good soil. Press on. Bear fruit. Maybe you're the one passed over on the roadside. God sees you. He's sending help. Maybe you're the mustard seed, small, overlooked. But in God's hands, you're more than enough. Friend, these are not just ancient stories. They are present-day invitations. The question is, will you hear them? Will you respond? Final reflection. The parables are mirrors. The parables are not just for learning. They are for looking at yourself, your choices, your heart. Are you building your life on the rock or on sand? Are you burying your talents or multiplying them? Are you waiting for a banquet but ignoring the invitation? Jesus spoke in parables so we would pause, so we would lean in, so we would see ourselves clearly and change. Before you go, answer this in the comments. Which parable has spoken to you most powerfully, and why? Let this be a community of seekers, of storytellers, of soil ready for seed. And if this message opened your heart, share it. Scatter it like seed. Let someone else hear and heal. Next week we'll explore the cost of discipleship, following Jesus when it hurts. So click follow. Keep your lamp burning. And remember, the kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. And when a man found it, he sold everything he had and bought that field. Matthew 13 verse 44. The kingdom is worth everything. And Jesus is calling you into the story.